The Cleveland Browns finished their bye-week sandwich, which went Ravens by Ravens, basically a 14-day halftime adjustment period. They beat the Ravens, and there's Lamar Jackson suffering the ankle injury to his right foot. This is a legal play because he's out of the pocket. The protection against the low hits disappears when the quarterback evacuates the pocket. There he is being helped to the cart. He would have a boot on that ankle after the game. John Harbaugh said that there will be tests today. It's definitely a sprained ankle. I've seen some reporting that maybe it's low, maybe it's not. They don't know and won't know until they do the test. But that's horrible news for a Ravens team that, Mike, they are just holding it together through all these injuries. You got to give John Harbaugh all the credit in the world for just keeping this team together. This goes all the way back to preseason with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, and it was one after another. They lost Marcus Peters. They've lost Marlon Humphrey more recently, and now they may be without Lamar Jackson. And Tyler Huntley, a capable backup, and actually made it interesting. So it's not like there's a gigantic drop-off, but still, Lamar Jackson's an MVP and kind of an MVP candidate still this year. But, boy, it feels like the Ravens are limping toward the finish line.
Yeah, it does. But, boy, another one of those games, Cleveland had, 24-6 lead at halftime, and you thought they were going to cruise on to the victory even after Baltimore loses Lamar Jackson. And, again, absolutely legal hit, nothing wrong with it at all. Player trying to make a play, and that's just the way landed on his ankle. Certainly you would rather have be a low ankle sprain than a high ankle sprain. We'll see. They only have the Green Bay Packers coming up this week, and Green Bay fighting for the number 1 seed. So, right into the fire here. But yeah, it's been a struggle, but we've seen this with a number of teams. We just talked about one of them. We anointed the Bills as the kings of the AFC East from now on. And could they be the best team in the AFC? 7-6, 13 games in later, here we are, and they're trying to hang on to a playoff spot. Baltimore has seen their lead diminish now, just one loss, ahead of Cleveland, a team they split with, as you mentioned, with the last 2 games with just a bye in between. So it's getting close. Baltimore, the 4th seed of all the division winners right now, the lowest. So, yeah, and now we just wait and see. Huntley is a capable backup, make no mistake. But for where Baltimore wants to go, and we've seen Baltimore obviously struggle in the playoffs, you got to have Lamar Jackson. I mean, you have to. So it's now, is he going to miss time? And if he misses time, what can this team do? Where does this team end up by the time he comes back? Because, again, it's just about getting into the playoffs. They're not one of the teams, it seems at this point, though, they're not far off on losses because all the teams in the AFC, I said they're 4th from 1st through 3rd, all have 4 losses. So it's not like Baltimore, if they could win some games, couldn't move up into the standings or into the seedings. But if they're not having Lamar Jackson, that's going to be tough. Again, especially with a team like Green Bay coming up. And then we just see 2 more division games with the Bengals and the Steelers. So we just have to kind of wait and see of where they are. We saw Colt McCoy play 3 games when Kyler Murray was out and go 2-1. So let's see if Huntley has to play some games or if Lamar is going to be ready to go. But it's shaky. It's shaky in that division for sure. And we've seen Baltimore kind of be in the lead there and the teams below them kind of shifting. All of a sudden, Pittsburgh's looking good. Then Cincinnati's looking good. We thought Cleveland was going to be out of this. Now here they are, right underneath as well. So it's shifting every single week. And that's not going to change when you look at the bottom part of both these conferences, that 6-7 seed, and then those first 3 teams out, basically with the same record.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.